Good morning, Golden Bears. Congratulations to the girls basketball team for a season opening win last night. The rest of the week is busy, starting with the speech and debate team working on the holiday lights after school today.
And the SpongeBob musical is about to open. We'll have SMS students here tomorrow morning. And then the public shows on Friday and Saturday at 7 p.m. Tickets are available at the door, $10 for adults and $8 for students.
Sophomores and juniors, Blue River Career Programs is offering a tour on Tuesday, November 25th. Check their hands-on career paths and see what fits your goals. Permission slips are in the counseling office and are due by this Friday, November 14th.
Seniors, Jostens will return on November 19th to collect captain gown orders. They will be set up in the cafeteria lobby during all lunch periods. If you did not attend the informational meeting today, please grab an order packet from the front office. If you have any questions, you can email Miss Kitchen or stop by to see her in the front office.
Now, let's check in with part 3 of our interview with U.S. Army veteran Dr. Holly Everett.
Are there other things that really stand out to you from that period? It's just kind of like these were moments where you really had eye-opening experiences.
Yeah, so one of them that I tell people that is one of like the strongest memories that I have is one day that we were in there and we had the incoming warning that we had the helicopters come in, we could hear the birds come in, and so we were all in the ER and ready. We immediately moved with 3 patients. One was a Marine, so it was an American Marine who had amputation injuries from blast injury, from IED blast, and then we had 2 gunshot wounds, and one was a British soldier and one was a Taliban member. So they brought him in, they triaged him, we got him straight into the operating room. I was working with the team that was taking care of the Marine, and then my favorite cardiothoracic surgeon that I know that I worked with in Hawaii that was stationed with me, who had several patents and all these other things, who's brilliant and said he'd done enough in life, he was going to serve his time over here, and came and was serving, and so he was, a really, great example. So he was there working on this British soldier because the bullet had gone above his Kevlar, so his protective vest, and had gone through and made vessel the heart, the aorta. And then the other Taliban member, they were working on a gunshot wound that he had. And I remember being over there working on the American Marine, and everything's quiet and calm, even though it's chaos at the same time. Everybody's saying their stuff that they need while keeping it calm. And eventually I remember Dr. Starkey being like, all right, there's a hole. I cannot fix this. If I was stateside, I could with certain grafts, etc. He was like, there's nothing else I can do. He even cracked the chest and was like massaging the heart while he's saying this. And so I just remember him, looking very defeated, and the British Padre, because it's an Anglican church, is kind of they sponsored religion for the British. So their padre is what they call him, their chaplain came in, and he walked in and he read from the Psalms and said a prayer over while they kind of cleaned him up while everybody else kept operating, and there wasn't a dry eye in the house, but that's just what you did, and you just kind of like mentally like, all right, so let's focus on what we have and kind of deal with that stuff later. But I think some of my biggest memories are things like that was just the day-to-day basis. So keeping your mental health up over there was big. So one of my other big memories from being there was the general for the Marines at the time. He was a 2-star general, and he was amazing. And so we had these patient diaries that we would send, where we would write into the wounded warriors that we had taken care of, this little paper diary, like, hey, I took care of you this time, blah, blah, blah. And their buddies, or their soldiers or battle buddies, could come and see them off before they medevaced out. And so they'd always write inside jokes or something like soldiers do, sometimes inappropriate, sometimes just being, soldiers. Yes. So they always said some funny things, or some would be a little bit more emotional and teary-eyed and things. But I just remember that general coming over. It didn't matter the time of the day or night, knowing how busy he was, like managing, operating a war front. He would always make time to come see them, give them their Purple Heart at the bedside, even though they wouldn't be awake, they'd be sedated for it, and see them bedside and make sure and write in that journal. And he also made sure to come and see us on the holiday, like Christmas, anything like that, both shifts. He would come over and come and see how everything was doing. He wouldn't announce that he was coming either. So those are a couple of my favorite things about being there, like just the care that I was able to give and seeing some of the amazing leadership qualities that you don't always get to see.
Yes.
So
now this time of year, of course, your dad and brother were here yesterday for a Veterans Day program. This time of year, we think a lot about veterans and especially in the schools, but what does Veterans Day really mean to you?
So for me, I am fiercely protective of that patient population. So the veterans, the American soldier, the American Marine, Airman, soldier, all that, they are my favorite patient population to serve. Veterans are old and cantankerous and non-compliant also. And they give you a hard time anytime I've had to take care of them at like the Veterans Hospital, the VA, or anything like that. But they are seriously my favorite because they're the most thankful. They are the ones that will always, even though they'll give you a hard time about a plan of care that you've given them, they will give you a hard time, but they will also turn around and thank you sincerely for your service. And they are just, for me, Veterans Day is remembering those, they're warriors, and they talk about being wounded warriors and those heroes that, during that time that I was there, all that was volunteer. Nobody, was drafted. Everybody volunteered to be there, and they were giving their time. And I knew if I had a family member there, or a friend there, that I wanted them to have the best care possible so they could focus on their job out on the battlefront and not have to worry about what their medical care would be if something happened or if they got injured. So for me, it was a personal thing because of having, my dad and my brother in and other family friends and stuff like that in that, I wanted to make sure that they were getting good care, and I felt confident that I could help with that. And relieve that burden so if anything were to happen. But I think for me, just knowing the sacrifice that people gave. Most of those guys, they're young, they were in their 20s, some of them like 18 and 19, multiple amputations. And one of the nice things is one of my close battle buddies over there, she ran the Wounded Warrior Clinic at Walter Reed after our deployment. And so she would send updates of pictures of some of the soldiers we took care of while they were doing the rehabilitation and seeing them in their new prosthetic limbs and stuff like that with their permission. Mm-hmm. And seeing things like that and just seeing the care that I gave made a difference was pretty amazing. I mean, it's just like the quote that says, not everybody got to go home.